Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Let's Make an Open World RPG, DawnHaven. I believe this is episode 14, but it could be 13, but I'm pretty sure it's 14. In this episode, we're first going to talk about some of the stuff I have made lists for, because that's what I've been doing lately, just making a whole bunch of lists. And when I say lately, I mean like 2-3 hours ago when I started doing them. But anyways, and some one of the lists that I made a while back, and I just forgot to tell you guys. And then we're going to work on the wood cutting skill, and I've actually made a list for that also. So it's now here. If I can find it, it should be called skills. Let me just move this over here because I like these to be in the order that I made them. So skills. So lock picking skills. So this is how the list works. You have the names of the skills, you have what the skills are used for, and you have what the levels do. So pickpocketing, again, loot items from pockets is a crime. The higher your level in it, the higher your chances to pick the person's pocket. Same with lockpicking. Cooking is the same, and I've finally figured out how to do the blacksmithing skill slash level up. So how I'm doing it is, the higher your skill is, the more there's gonna be different sets of armors that you can make, obviously. So I'm gonna like basically rank them from the strongest to the weakest, which they already are. So let's say your blacksmithing level is from level 0 to 100. Maybe you can't make anything, or maybe you could just make a wooden sword. If your blacksmithing is 200 to 300, then you could start making better stuff. And then if it's like 800 to 999, you can make the best stuff. So it's going to be like that. Plus you get a higher chance to upgrade items. So that's 4 grade levels in my game, which is I have forgotten. Which is, give me a second, weapon list. Which is common. Okay, it's common, which are these. Rare, which is common, rare, elite, and legendary, but they're tagged differently, so that's why I get them confused sometimes. So in the game, rare stuff are named with they have the prefix exotic in it and stuff like that. So it's common, exotic, epic, and mythic. So like when you're the highest level of blacksmithing, then you can start like making the mythic stuff. But until then, you have to rely on. I mean, I'm 100% off. When you're higher in blacksmithing, then you can upgrade. So, you could upgrade a platinum dagger to an exotic platinum dagger. But the higher your skill is, the higher success you have in upgrading them. So you could upgrade them from this to this to this to this. Yeah, but you can only make these. You can only make common items in the blacksmithing from blacksmithing, but then you can upgrade them after you make them. So okay, and then after you've upgraded them, you can also upgrade them further from our refinement system. So you could add +1, +2, +3. So you can make the items yourself. You could upgrade the items yourself, and then you could upgrade the items again. So again, the first upgrade is going from is basically going a grade up, and then the other upgrade, which is refinement, is basically just making the individual grade stronger. Okay, so that's one of the. Okay, back to this. And speech is basically your. I don't even know if I spell persuade right. Speech is basically persuade and intimidate people. So the higher it is, the higher chance you have to intimidate people. Mining is basically higher chance of finding materials. Fish for fish, which is fishing is basically just self-explanatory. It's fishing for fish. Higher chance of catching fish. Cutting wood, the same. Plus, there's gonna be. So when you start the game, there's gonna be wood that only produce one wood, and then there's gonna be some that produce two woods, and some that's gonna produce three. So the higher your level, so let's say like your wood cutting skill is level 500, you'll be able to cut down trees that produce 3 wood. But if it's like level 1, you can only cut down wood that only produce 1 wood and stuff like that. So harvest again, higher chance of harvesting plants, and then the survival. This one was on my maybe list, but then I decided to add it. So survival is basically going to be is going to affect your hunger, thirst, and sleep. So it's gonna affect the hunger, thirst, and sleep rating. So let's say you start out the game. You're gonna start out the game with 100 of everything. So 100 hunger, thirst, and sleep. So that means during your adventure and whatever, those needs are gonna degrade. Some are gonna degrade faster than others, and some are gonna degrade slower than others. Sleep is gonna be degrade the slowest, and I believe thirst will degrade the fastest. Um, and then so basically, the more you level it up, which I haven't actually found a way to level it up yet, um it's going so the more you level it up, the more your rating is gonna be. So I'm trying to base it like every 10 levels that you go up, your hunger maybe goes up by 5, your thirst maybe goes up by 3, and your sleep goes up by 1, something like that. Those are just random numbers I came up with. So something like that. So that's how I'm gonna do it. The only thing I don't know how to do is how to level them up. Maybe I'll make it so every time you eat something, or maybe every time your rating is at 100. Actually, no, that's going to be dumb, because then there's going to be a whole bunch of technical stuff I have to do to regulate it. So I'm just going to make it like every time you eat something, every time you sleep, or something like that. I don't know yet. Okay, let's go back to the hunger, thirst, and sleep. So this is going to be the effects of them. When your hunger reaches 0, then your attack and defense are gonna drop by half. So if you have 5 attack, it's gonna drop by 2, I believe, 2 or 3. I'm gonna round it off. I don't know how Ruby or RPG Maker VS8 round stuff, but I'm gonna round it. I'm gonna try to round it to the highest part. So let's say if you're like at 5, it'll round up to 3 instead of 2, but I don't know 100%. So it's gonna be cut by half. So if you have 10, it's gonna drop down by 5. Ooh. Okay, so and then your health is gonna start to degrade. So it's gonna be like the effects of poison. And if you're thirsty, then your magic attack and your magic defense is gonna drop by half, and your energy is gonna start to degrade. So as you can see, this is the opposite of that. And then sleep is the major factor in this. It's basically the dividing factor. Since it's degrading the slowest, I wanted to have the biggest penalty for dropping. So that's no reason why your sleep should ever like reach 0. You could go up more than like 2 days, even with your sleep still like not even half or whatever. So I don't know yet. Those are just again numbers I'm saying. So anyway, if you're hungry, okay, let's say you're hungry and ooh, I have okay. Else drop full stats to 0. Okay, so actually drop full stats. That's by half. Okay, so when when your sleep drops to 0, then every 4 of these stats that affects hunger and thirst will drop by half. But if you're hungry and thirsty and then you have to sleep, then you will die like instantly. You will die. Um, if you're hungry only if you're hungry only and then become sleepy, then then your magic attack and your defense. So if you're hungry, your magic attack and your magic defense is gonna drop to 0. But if you're thirsty, then your attack and defense is gonna drop by 0. And if you're both, you die instantly. So that's how I'm managing the hunger slash thirst system. There's another major thing, but I'll get to this timeline later. Again, I've added a whole bunch of food items, so these are going to be the ingredients to make these items over here. I'm going to try to add more food that you can make. Crafting items, I basically just made some items in game already, so those are basically just those. These are items used to craft armors and stuff like that alike, and potions, and of course. I still have to add the plants that you harvest and stuff like that to make potions. But the only reason why I haven't done that yet, I actually have a separate list for that. The only reason why I haven't done that yet because is I'm trying to get a script made for specifically. I'm trying to make it like a Skyrim kind of system, so I'm gonna need that script first before I actually start making this ingredients and stuff like that. And that's basically it for all those. And then let's now get back to books. So I basically just started making names of books. Books are going to be items that you'll be able to read. So I'm just making up titles of the book and what the book is about. And then there's going to be spell books and then skill books and then recipes. And but that was a while ago that I started doing this. And this is going to be the fictional author. All the books are actually going to be written by me, but I'm going to make a fictional author of someone who lived in the world, kind of like that, like in Skyrim. Anyways, and then this is the timeline, which is what I'm about to end this video soon. The next episode, I'm going to start working on the wood cutting and the mining skills. So, anyways, this is the timeline, which is going to be the lore of the world so far. I'm not done with the timeline. I've only stopped at the age of creation, which is when all this actually all the five divines start making whatever they're making. So okay, so the time it goes from 0 AD. AD stands for Age of Darkness, and all the way to 759 AC, which stands for Age of Creation. So during the Age of Darkness is before is when the gods were fighting and stuff like that, and then the Age of Creation is when they started to create stuff, and then there's gonna be two more ages before we get to the Age of Man, elves, and alakais, and then they're gonna be just them and all the history that goes into the world of creating the worlds that happens, the inventions that happen, and stuff like that. I still got a whole bunch of stuff to come up with because I really want this game to be rich in lore. So, anyways, I'm gonna just go ahead and go through the timeline. So, 0 AD, Age of Darkness. I've actually forgot its name. Parthrium. Okay, Parthrium existed in an endless abyss alone for 100 years, just big enough for him to fit. So basically, he's in a small room, which is it's a small space that's big enough. He's a gigantic creature. He's the first creature to ever exist. He's all powerful and whatever, and he just lives in a space big enough for him to fit. So he doesn't actually walk around. He just stands there. So Parthrium creates two spirits to keep him company. Because he gets bored. So Aiden and Adrian. Aiden and Adrian. Okay. Aiden kills Adrian out of jealousy. So Aiden thinks Parthrium is giving Adrian more attention. Adrian is a girl, I believe. Yeah, Adrian is a girl. So Aiden kills a girl out of jealousy. So Parthrium creates time and traps Aiden in. I wrote this a while ago, and I was sleepy. Okay, Parthrium or Parthrium? Yeah, Parthrium creates time and traps Aiden in it to relive the moment he killed his sister forever. So basically, just creates time and makes him relive it the moment that he killed his sister forever and ever and ever again. So and after that, a few 40 years pass. In sheer boredom, Parthrium splits himself into 6 smaller and powerful beings. So the 6 divines lived in peace from 150 Age of Darkness to 513 Age of Darkness. Aiden breaks free. Aiden breaks free of his prison. Okay, oh my gosh, this is just weird to read. Aiden, because it's a lot of weird names that I just made up on the spot. But anyway, Aiden breaks free of his prison to force the force it took him to break out of time created the Asternos, which is a universe. The universe that this game takes place in is Asternos, apparently. So the divines can now roam free. So Eros create 514 AD. Eros created a small piece of space. So Eros teaches the other divine beings how to create the same thing. So Eros was the first one to create. So this is the same year. And then the six divines beings fill up the darkness with their creation. So at one point, the whole universe was one big creation that they made. And after they run out of space, which is 500, which is like the next year, they run out of space because they just went berserk creating stuff. Ekron challenges Etris for his space because they're running out of space. So fight between Ekron and Etris still rages on, which is the next year. And then Exer and Eros join the fight. The next year after that, Idrin and Iran joins the fight, and then 2000 AD, which is like 1400 and something years after they started the fight. They're still fighting. Apparently, the sixth divine destroy all their creation, returning the endless abyss. Returning it to the endless abyss. Okay, 2173 AD. Eros forms an alliance with Iran. 2174 AD. Idrin joins the alliance. 2200 AD, the alliance defeats Ekron, draining his power. Then like 300 something years later, the alliance defeats Etrix, draining his power. And then closer than 4790 AD, the alliance defeats Exer, draining his power, which begins 1 AC, which is Age of Creation. And all these ages are made up by the elves. All the beginning ages are made up by the elves. And then later on, when elves, humans, and what Alakas are created, they're all gonna have different timelines based on what's happened. Actually, they're gonna have one timeline from that, but there's gonna be separate timelines later on because there's gonna be books, 3 different kind of books written from the point of view of each of the different races and what's happening in their land. But this one is just a general of what's happening in the world. So 1 AC to 500 AC, Eros, Idrin, and Iran create land, ocean, and sky. From then to 753 AC, Eros, Idrin, and Iran put their power together to create the physical form of all living creatures, and then they do the same thing again for the spirits. And that's where I stopped. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this later on, but now it's time to end this video. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching. You could pause the video and read this yourself. I just thought I would read it for you guys because it's something I made and I'm proud of. I actually like how the story is shaping out so far. The lore is shaping out so far. I'm planning to make, like, it's gonna be fully documented, just like the one for Tamriel and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna make a way. There's gonna be something that happens for the sun to be made, and then for the moon to be made, for the other planets and stuff like that. So I've already made the way time and space was made. So yes, a whole bunch of stuff I still have to make up. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to tune in for my next episode, which is going to be way shorter than this one. I was actually planning on talking about this stuff really fast. I thought it was going to take me like 5 minutes, but apparently it took me 19 minutes. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to tune in next episode. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will get going. Peace.